Welcome and thank you so much for joining us today for our fourth episode of RT Next. As the pandemic continues to reshape our future, at the Outlook Responsible Tourism Initiative, an affiliate member of the UNWTO, we believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel. The question is, how do we get through this tunnel together as a community and build something that is better and more resilient? And that is exactly why at RT Next, we are reaching out to the experts and the doers, the policymakers and the policy implementers to help us draw out a blueprint for the future. Our guest today leads the tourism initiative from the state of incredible built heritage, amalgamation of different faiths, and a deep-rooted culture unique to the land. Please welcome Mr. Mukesh Meshram, IAS, Director General Tourism of Uttar Pradesh. Welcome, Mr. Meshram. How are you, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Meshram, for joining us today. My first question to you, sir, is that you took over the tourism portfolio not very long ago, and probably at one of the most difficult times for the industry, right in the middle of the pandemic. What have been your key challenges, sir, in the past few months, and what are the solutions you are working towards ending those challenges?
See, basically, COVID wave first and second, because of these, there is a big setback in hospitality sector as well as tourism sector, including aviation sector. So we are not getting enough number of international tourists as well as domestic tourists because of lockdowns and so many other factors. They are also not coming to tourist destinations in more and more numbers. But this time we are utilizing and developing the infrastructures. We are identifying the gaps for the betterment of tourist facilities in all the tourist destinations. We are developing, we have about 12 important tourist circuits in Uttar Pradesh, which we have taken up under the UP Tourism Development Policy of 2018, and it envisages to attract more investors for developing different facilities. So it's basically time for planning, for organizing things, for developing lot of infrastructural facilities, and even marketing and upgrading all these things. So immediately after, we hope that post-COVID we will certainly get bulk of tourists, which they will certainly experience better memories, better experiences with the facilities which we are constructing or developing right now.
That is very good to know, Mr. Meshram, because really using this period of the lockdown to actually improve infrastructure is, I think, a fantastic idea. And I'm sure the tourists, when they come back, will reap the benefits of that in the future. Sir, you have an enviable resume. You are an architect by education. You are also a master's degree holder in public administration. And in your career, you have worked across several ministries and departments, including road transport, taxation, and you have a deep interest in women's empowerment, in housing for the urban poor, rural development, and social development. Many of these areas are deeply concerned with tourism as well, as you know. And we have seen in tourism, one of the main challenges that people face is stakeholder alignment. So has your background working across different aspects of government helped you in facing that challenge and bring stakeholders together, especially with the pandemic in mind?
I have come across different planning ideas and designs which were submitted to us by the designers, architects, and different working agencies. So I focused on improving the aesthetic part of that, because what I have observed or experienced that there are certain elements missing in all these designs or the planning ideas, because we have to basically get along with the cultural elements, heritage of our own culture, like Ayodhya. We have so many spiritual and religious places to visit: Prayagraj, Varanasi, Chitrakoot. And if we go by the Buddhist circuits, we have Kushinagar, Sarnath, Kaushambi,
Correct.
Sankissa, this Sravasti and other six major destinations. So we must develop the buildings or design the buildings keeping in mind all those features of Buddhist architecture or the heritage of Indian architecture, so that we have tried to introduce or get introduced by the architect. Secondly, as far as rural development is concerned, certainly we have to take into consideration different stakeholders, because our economy, Uttar Pradesh, is totally based on major uh, chunk of it is based on agrarian and rural development economy. So uh, we can focus on rural tourism also. We can develop certain villages which will have their own products to show off. We can showcase our handicraft, our handloom, our culture, our cuisine, ethnic cuisine, our handloom, and other things which we have plenty in rural areas. Third aspect is women. The main stakeholders which we can engage is women. So there are two things to look into, like the empowerment of women in and around that tourist destinations, and that we have done in Mathura uh, with the help of World Bank Pro Poor scheme we launched there, and a lot of women are engaged. We formed self-help groups of women, and then we got them engaged in beads making, tulsi mala making, then Krishna, this poshak making, and other things which one can basically carry with him as a souvenir after returning back, visiting all these places. Then is safety aspect of women tourists. For that also, we are developing changing rooms, toilets, because the tourist should not have bad experience of visiting all these places, because it carries for long time. It carries the
Yes.
image of our state, all these places, and even India. So for that, we are developing a women-friendly infrastructure, so that they should not feel inconvenient, or they should experience like as if it is for them also. They are the part of the whole gamut of situation, because at times what we feel that particularly those tourists which we call them come for pilgrimage, because in Uttar Pradesh there are two major groups coming to these places. One is they come for pilgrimage, and then second lot they come for tourism. uh, Maximum portion of tourists they come for pilgrimage, and for that it forms more percentage of women tourists. So that is why it is very much needed that we focus on their problems also.
That is really good to know, sir, because women are an intrinsic part of the tourism infrastructure. We always feel not just the women, the elderly, who can be used and trained and skilled upskilled in many different ways to become, to make them, empowered to become a part of the tourism infrastructure. It's so good to know that you're focusing on these parts. Um, so coming to ecotourism now, Uttar Pradesh has always laid emphasis on ecotourism. And we know that wildlife and nature holidays, especially post-pandemic, will pick up hugely because people will prefer to travel by roads and be in open spaces. What are the sustainability measures like carrying capacity calculations, community empowerment, etc., that you would be focusing on? And also, in terms of a 5-year roadmap, what are you looking at as a future of tourism in the state, keeping sustainability in mind?
If I tell you, we have really not done much on ecotourism sector, but now we are certainly exploring how ecotourism can also become a major attraction for tourists. We have Dudhwa National Park, Katarnia Ghat, and Pilibhit Tiger Reserve. We have lot of bird sanctuaries,
Yes.
and we have natural falls also in Mirzapur and Vindhya region. So all these places, if we develop adventure tourism, adventure sports, or facilities like paragliding, parasailing, or bungee jumping, and different other activities. Certainly, now people don't want to go in the crowded places after this COVID. They would certainly like to move uh, towards open spaces, or they will go beyond all these crowded destinations which we used to have earlier in our bucket list. So I think we can further develop. So for that, we are developing heliports, which will connect to airports, and from there, heli services will operate with the help of private players, and from major airport areas, uh, the heli services will take them to all these places which I just mentioned. And then we have a long stretch of river Ganga. So there are more than 25 districts, and we have identified Ganga villages. So there is concept of this Earth Ganga. So around Ganga river also we have different kind of flora and fauna. We have open spaces. We have sand uh, spaces where we can develop like tent villages, so that the tourist can have experience of ethnic food, uh, ethnic or local folk dances. They can experience. They can involved with certain activities which are mainly based in rural areas. Like they can cook, they can get involved in even weaving or pottery making or things like that. So that uh, we can basically, it's experiential tourism, you know, rather than just showing them what monuments or what things we have. We can take them to feel the rural atmosphere, mix up with the social fabric of that area and things like that. For that, we are uh, training guides also. That is also part of our project, and we have already started training lot of guides in different languages, so that they should match with the requirement of the tourist also. We want to train them in French or other foreign languages, particularly for Buddhist circuit. They can. We are trying them to learn Thai or Japanese or Korean
Mandarin. Yeah.
language.
That is good to know, sir, because, when you're building your ecotourism infrastructure, that's one of the best ways to get the local communities involved. Whether it's training as guides or as, as the wildlife watchers, taking people on walks through the rural areas, through the wetlands, through the forests. That's the treasure that the rural communities have. That's good to know.
And
Sir, have there, yeah.
that is why the tourists basically we have developed the curriculum in such a fashion that we will teach them the geography, the culture, and language, and even behavior, management, everything, so that they become very good guides.
That's good to know, sir. Uh, Sir, coming back to the pandemic, it's of course spelt a terrible time for the tourism community, as we all know. Have there been any schemes from the state government to help out the communities in distress in the tourism sector? Or are there any schemes that you're looking at in the future?
For different stakeholders, those who are involved in tourism industry, under UP tourism policy, we incentivize them. We have fiscal incentives as well as non-fiscal incentives, uh, which we are offering them. And a lot of properties which were managed by the government sector or state government, now we are offering private players to basically partner with us for better management, for better operation, uh, so that the people who are finding it very difficult at the time of this pandemic, because they don't have enough capital to invest in these fields, uh, we can basically, as an equity or in PPP mode, we are offering them our lands, even hotels. We have more than 70 hotels and guest houses. Some of them are running uh, under loss, and some of them are making very minuscule profit, which is not very means, significant. So that's why we want that private player, they can do even better jobs than the government sector. So for that, uh, we are offering. In fact, we have advertised some pre-bid meetings also already held, and in near future, we are offering other facilities and incentives also. Secondly, uh, under this scheme only, uh, some cultural groups uh, which are engaged in training or training new lot of people. So how to make this whole sector more and more lucrative for them, then how to make it sustainable, because some of the people, they are going away from, because they don't know, or even we don't know for how long we will have to wait to return back to the normalcy, or again we will enjoy all that kind of thing. So during this period, we are organizing seminars, we are inviting ideas, and IIA, CII, and many other business agencies or groups, organizations also. We have asked them to do survey, so that it becomes helpful in making plans and documents for future planning.
That's really wonderful, sir, because, the central government has just about 2 or 3 days back, the finance ministry has announced some relief measures for the tourism industry. So that, along with the state government measures, I'm sure will lend a helping hand to those who are in need. Lastly, sir, we know that, we are all locked up at home, masked up, not being able to travel, but, we have hope that it will, vaccination is picking up, we will be able to travel again. So when you are able to travel again, sir, what is your wish list? Where would you like to go? The first place you would like to visit?
See, even in India, I have seen that there are many unexplored places or many places which are not properly marketed or branded, or we have not showcased them before the whole world, and that is why they are missing from the bucket list of many people. But in UP itself, we have rock painting. In UP itself, we have very good waterfalls. Here we have very good tiger sanctuaries. We have rivers. We have mango orchards for rural tourism. We have uh, even strawberry growing in Jhansi, like, and there are many other places which we can visit. But certainly, if I go by the UP, there are places like Lalitpur, which I have not visited so far, where very good temples are situated. And then in India, Northeast, certainly it's very good destination. And if I talk about abroad, then Morocco is there. Then there is this African countries. Egypt I have not seen, but many places I have visited.
That's good to know, sir. Sir, is there any other message you would want to give to our community, to our viewers?
In Hindi, there is saying, "बुरे दिन का भी बुरा दिन आता है." So certainly, this is a temporary phase. It's not permanent feature, and one has to learn how to live with all kind of evils, bad times, or whatever situation we have to face in our life. And if we can able to learn that very soon, how to cope up with the situation, certainly we will start enjoying. See, the life is full of fun, the life is a festival, and we have to celebrate it. uh, we should not wait for the right moment, because if you start waiting, then by the end of the day, by the end of your life, one start what I have actually done in the whole life, and then they don't have enough time to actually enjoy the life. So it's better, the whole world, the globe is a book, and we have to read it throughout our life. Every day is a lesson, every day is a feature, every day is a good learning. So the tourism provides that opportunity. When one starts touring to different parts of the world, different parts of the globe, different destinations, he actually experiences the whole story, the whole feature of that area, not virtually, but physically visiting and going to that place. So that is tourism, and one should immediately post COVID start going to the places. Money is not worth, only experiences which carries with them for lifelong. That is the thing.
What an inspiring message, sir. Thank you so much for that. We wish you all the very best and success for you in your role. Until the time we can all travel again, and hopefully very soon, we wish that you and all our viewers stay safe and well. Thank you so much for being with us
Thank you
today.
very much.